welcome back to Spoiling Dead, the show where we talk about the latest Walking Dead episode. I am your hostess, Rebekah Erb, and I am with my dudes, as always, Daniel Murphy.
Hello.
And Tony Walters.
Hey, everybody. How are you doing tonight?
Let's get talking about the mid-season finale, Evolution. Henry is off to college. Eugene is found. We lost an old friend, but we have unmasked a new enemy.
Clever. Did you write that? Did you steal that?
I stole it.
I figured.
Just the last part, just the last line. I can't come up with something as clever as that. But let's start with Alexandria. Very little that we were at Alexandria, but a lot has happened. Surprisingly, a lot that I'm pretty irritated with. So my first thing is, what is the point of acting like a dick for 6 years? As far as Negan, like, what's the point of him still being that snarky asshole?
I think more with Negan is that if you watch him, he plays it a bit differently with everybody.
Yeah.
So everybody gets a different kind of version of him. So he's not to let out the real him. He's had his moments with that, and I think he's getting better, and he wants to, but he just can't.
Just
shake
stubborn
it.
about
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely changes up depending on who he's talking to.
He was pestering Gabriel
He was
pretty hard.
definitely
Because
pestering Gabriel.
He's done it in the past. Remember when they were stuck together for a while?
Yeah,
It's
they
like,
have a certain
they've got a connection that some
relationship.
of the others don't have.
Yeah, exactly. But this is like a really stupid question. It's like, doesn't matter. But do you think Rosita was talking about Eugene? When he was like, you don't need to tell me what Rosita feels about me. He was like, whoa, how do you know she was talking about you? Like that little snippet there.
Oh, I see what you mean. You're saying Negan really wasn't saying it was about Gabriel.
Yeah,
it was about
yeah.
Eugene.
Somebody. Well, I'm wondering. Do you think that she was talking about Eugene?
I think what he was doing there was he's just playing head games.
Yeah.
Just planting something in his mind that he hadn't thought of before. Like,
right.
And now he's that's why when he walked out the door, he was like, huh.
right.
Got me.
Yeah.
So maybe it could have been Eugene.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been.
Yeah. Because we've seen.
If he's trying to pit them against each other, maybe.
Yeah, because she was kind of playing.
She apparently likes dorky dudes.
Right. But Spencer. She was playing Spencer for a little bit.
Which
there.
one was Spencer?
The son. Donna's, not Donna's.
From the yeah. From the I know who you mean.
Yeah, Spencer.
Yeah.
The lady. What is her name? Starts with a D.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Oh, we'll
anyway.
Get back to that.
And then my other thing is, how on earth, I don't care if you're emotional or if you have some shit going through your mind, how on earth do you forget to lock the cell? Not only Gabriel, but that big beefy guy that undid.
Yeah, where was he
at?
Like, where was that guy at? That's true. He just disappeared. Like, what? It just shift change.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it was very strange.
Yeah.
But after 6 years, you think they'd have that down. Plus, he made it clear, this is my job. My job is to watch you.
Right, is to watch you.
And he's missing out on all this, you know.
Yeah.
He was flustered. He had a lot going on.
And I get that, but...
And with Rosita being in the condition she was in, all right, I understand that could be the moment. Maybe.
Yeah, so I'll let it slide with Gabriel, but I'm not going to let it slide for that big beefy dude.
Yeah, where did he even go?
I would assume that he was there just to like do the handcuffing.
Oh, true.
You know, because he was in there to change the
because he's always normally alone.
Which, it's funny because in the bedpan, they filled it with water and fake dog turds that they got like at a novelty store for the bedpan.
It looked gross.
So it looked gross. Yeah. But in all honesty, with that whole scene there and how it was just open, I would have much rather him either walk back in, which Kirkman said what's in the comics,
right,
or what we had talked about before, Judith letting him out.
Well, maybe for all we know, he'll get so far and run into Judith or something, and that'll turn into like.
Well, in the teaser or whatever,
he gets away.
You see him go to Judith's room.
But is that Judith's room? Because he was going to a townhouse, and they're in like house of them by themselves.
There was
right?
there was a little picture of her family, and it had Michonne and Rick and.
Here's what I think he does. I think he goes on a little walkabout. And
with
he goes,
a shovel.
Right, and he goes to his old camp, kind of tries that on, see if it still fits. Not sure about it. So then he goes to see Judith. Oh, maybe I can get used to some of this family life stuff. Then weighs in and then decides.
Like a Goldilocks type thing.
He's trying on this exactly like that. So he's just. So when we see him in the teaser talking, like the good old days, maybe he's just like, when you look in the mirror and you just pretend, that's maybe it's just
right. And plus, like, we've already found out that the sanctuary basically went belly up.
Right.
Because all those other saviors that got away from that battle,
right.
mess with
the rest
Henry and you don't
Carol
mess with Mama
fire.
Bear. Right. So that part is a little confusing, and if that's the case that he does go back to the sanctuary,
I think they're misleading us with
I would hope so.
I think ultimately Negan is the one that really helps him with the Whisperers and gets the plan and saves them all from him.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I still don't feel much of a threat from them now that they know. Like, isn't that the biggest thing with them? Like, they all know now, so now they can be looking out for it. Like, they kind of lost the element of surprise there.
A little bit, but then, if you think about it as far as, like,
the Whisperers... But there's
still
these people over here that don't have a clue. I
right,
still feel like
exactly.
there's another group of them.
And not only that, but they're completely camouflaged. Like...
Well, yeah,
they could
can
be
hide
out
as long as they
doing
gotta hide.
Right.
Sure.
And then if you're dealing with a herd, you don't know... it completely changes the
Unless
dynamic
you throw
of
an
everything.
alarm clock down, they don't go for it. Then you can
right.
Well, maybe.
So crazy.
It's clever how they did that. And
it's very clever,
and
yes.
the science behind it. It was pretty smart.
Yeah. But we'll see where they go. It
seemed like we've seen all their cards now.
Yeah, I think so. We'll see. Well, I think
we haven't met the leader yet.
Right.
We haven't met Alpha.
Right.
Or Beta.
So, speaking about like Negan maybe helping or whatnot, I think he does help in the comics. But this initial, like you said, that maybe he'll go to the sanctuary, maybe he'll go find Judith. Do you think that his first thing is to go out and find Lucille?
I think that's his definitely, because
like
that's the only thing he's ever give a shit about.
Mm-hmm.
Is just I want to make sure that thing is safe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say when he's just going walkabout, he's sneaking around. He's definitely looking for Lucille, for sure. But I feel like that's part of just him having a moment to decide what he's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
He has to go see this stuff again, and he has to, first of all, find Lucille. I'm sure that's his primary thing. And maybe it gets to the point where he can't, and then he just, I don't know, maybe that's why he goes into her room. He has to ask her, where is it?
Yeah.
I'll go back to my cell if you let me have it, or that kind of thing.
I really, really hope that, being in Judith's room and she wasn't in bed, that he like turns around to like a click, and she's like Negan,
that would be badass.
And she takes him back to his cell.
That would be.
And she's
cool.
like, I won't say a word, but you don't do this again, type of thing.
That'd
like,
be cool. They make a deal.
That would be really cool.
They make a little deal. I mean, Carl and Negan had a kind of an understanding.
And now Judith and him do too.
And
you know what I mean?
Negan wants that because of what he had with Carl. I think he feels terrible about that.
Mm-hmm.
And that he would love to have just an honest-to-God connection with somebody that knows him for who he is for real. Like, that's the only chance he's got is with Judith.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's their relationship anyway, because how he is with everybody else.
She calls him out, and he calls her out.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Great.
With everybody else, like, they don't get him like Judith does.
No.
Like, he's still a dick, and they're like, oh, I can't believe you.
And vice versa, I think.
For sure.
So I'm really excited to actually see the dynamic and what we see between them.
Yeah.
Two, because I think it's like they're the only ones that can control each other at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to get like that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But so after that, we're at Hilltop, and Tara and Carol act slighted towards Michonne, which is so crazy to see.
Still going on about
They're still
what
going
happened.
on about what happened. Yeah. And with our original like people, the ones that are like truly like family, it's so weird to see them.
But everyone's left Michonne,
about it.
so clearly Michonne
Did something.
is
Yeah.
the source of it.
Mm-hmm.
And people resent her for it, but they still love her, like Carol. Like, they all needed an
they're
excuse
still
to
family.
leave.
Yeah.
Bullshit. They were just trying to get away from Michonne.
But here, okay, because
She's gone all Rick on everyone.
Right.
She's ricked out.
But then there's like the scars that connect Daryl and Michonne together with maybe whatever's going on, but they don't act the same way to Daryl that they did with Michonne.
Right,
you know,
but maybe
so
Daryl took something. Maybe Daryl had to kind of took a shot for somebody or something.
Something.
You know.
But Michonne did say, she was like, you know, they said something about like Alexandra wanting to be the delegation for the fair or whatever. Ezekiel like writing letters, but then she even said to.
What did you get from that as far as the fair? Now that sounded more like a kind of a political meeting than a fair to me. I don't know.
To me, it did, especially with there's like wanting Alexandra to simply be like the delegation for it, so they wanted them to like run it, so maybe that's just like using up a lot of their resources that Michonne doesn't want to. But she even said, she was like, at least they're alive so they can hate me for it. So with her saying that leads me to think that she just had to make this one choice to save everybody, but it's still like to them was a slight, you know what I mean? I don't know.
I'm trying to put it together in my head because obviously whatever it is in the story is why Maggie ultimately left, I think.
Agreed. Completely
So
agree.
it's kind of left them in a bit of a shambles,
Mm-hmm.
especially now with Jesus. But then, too, on the other side of things, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. But it had to have been something like really, really, really big.
It had to be, but I can't. That's why I say I can't. I'm trying to put together like what it could be.
Yeah.
With Michonne being involved, to where now everybody's all of a sudden against her because of what she's done.
And not just that, but Michonne like being full on like, I understand. I'm sorry that I tried to turn you down, but we have to do things for ourselves now.
Right.
Like Hilltop's over here,
right.
Alexandria's over here. We have to take care of our own.
She was all about bringing everyone together before.
Yeah, because that was the promise that she made to Carl. So
Who
it's
would have
like
put the
for her
idea
to
in her
not
head?
fulfill that promise, it had to have been like huge for her not to like fulfill that promise to Carl. Like that constitution of everybody together
But
working
maybe
together with one
after
law.
losing Carl and then losing Rick and then having a baby without Rick around like
Right.
that, things had to be pretty rough.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot's going on over there too.
Yeah.
But that affected her decision making somewhere down the road, and she got hurt from it.
Mm-hmm.
And it pissed a lot of people off. Whatever the hell happened.
Whatever it is. So now, and I don't want to jump ahead too far, but now that we like basically know what the Whispers are, do you think by the next, premiere, the mid-season premiere, we'll figure out what this little cliffhanger is, like this little mystery of the fair and whatever's going on? Do you think or is it going to be dragged out until?
Man, you know how they do this show.
Personally, I think that the fair is what's going to bring the Whispers into town. If I remember correctly, I think that's how they appear in the comics for the first time. Is when the fair happens. That's when the Whispers strike. So I think the fair and the Whispers are both going to come to a major, like it's going to be like mid-season, or it's going to be like season finale kind of an episode.
Gotcha.
I think. Or like maybe second to last episode. Like here's
Yeah.
like this big battle or war that happens like when it's supposed to be a time of peace.
When everybody's there together.
So when they're planning for the fair and getting that around, then all the other information's going to arise, and then we're going to learn more
Then you're gonna
in
run
dialogue.
into stuff like then, if that's the case, and then there might be this big thing that happens at the end when everybody's together for this fair, and then the Whispers attack. That tells me that maybe the Whispers have inside information, so maybe there's going to be some story unravel somehow. There's a connection to the group. I don't know.
I think so. I mean, they definitely have the
point.
upper hand as far as eavesdropping.
What
you know
if-
what I mean? Like they just blend in. They think it's
so you
a
don't
walker.
think that the Alpha Beta Whispers is the same as the A B
I don't think so.
Jarvis
No.
stuff? Because wouldn't that mean Rick would have a connection to the Whispers if he was an A or a B? If that's anything to do with it?
I mean, connecting those two.
I know
That
it's
that
not in
makes
the
sense.
comics,
but
is
I
it?
don't think that's how they'll go about
I
doing
don't know.
it.
They got that just sounds too similar to me.
Yeah.
But if it's different, it's different.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to piece it all together.
Yeah, for sure.
Thought Factory is back in the chat and
Yay.
says that the ending of the fair is going to be legit, and that's all he's going to say. He must be a comic book reader. Apparently, he
Ooh.
knows some things we don't.
Ooh.
So,
Apparently, some shit goes
Intrigue.
down at the fair.
Intrigue.
And I'm not talking throwing balls at cups. Something bigger than that's happening.
So, Yeah, like I said before, Henry is off to college, or the equivalent to the apocalyptic college,
Was
and
that
he
for
does
real?
the college things, like drink
Oh my goodness.
corn whiskey or whatever, moonshine out in the house, and we have some dumb teenagers that just don't know the world for what it is
yet
now.
again, how have they lived this long?
Well, they're
They've
just
grown
now
up
at
in it.
that
It's different.
age. Yeah, they grew up. They grew up at Hilltop.
I guess there wasn't really
And
any
they've never been
danger, was
out.
there? There was just a hole with
Yeah,
one
for
zombie
sure.
in it.
And, you know, Henry, although is still, you know, a kid and learning the world, he has the upper hand more because we see him jump into
He's
that
got a
pit.
bigger grip on reality.
Oh, for sure, because he
than
even
they
says,
do.
like, sorry to the walker.
I've lived here all my life.
Yeah, and then the guy's like, what are you doing? He's like, if I have to explain it to you, you wouldn't understand.
Right.
And it's just like, oh, these bratty
City folk.
kids.
Those city
like,
kids.
I know. But I'm glad the girl walked away because she obviously has enough sense that not to get involved.
She was just like
But
dumb boys.
Those dumb teenagers are going to get Henry killed. And then there's going to be Mama Bear sticking on him. And I'm not going to feel sorry for them. I'm not going to feel sorry for them one
Henry
bit.
killed, but I'm sure at some point one or two of them's
So
gonna die.
stupid. I did... Although it was just like the littlest like tidbit in the episode, I liked that growth to Henry's character.
It felt
just
like
a little
Friday
bit.
the 13th to me.
Really?
Or something
too.
like that.
Me too.
Kids out in a cabin in the woods
Right.
getting
Oh,
drunk.
okay. I get. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I felt
Whoa.
like they added in a little bit of horror trope to it.
Yeah, a trope for
and
sure.
that's what they were saying on Talking Dead. Like Kirkman was saying that they added a lot more horror elements to the show that you're gonna like.
Yeah,
pick
the
up on.
fog in the cemetery, like, is
so
very
good.
horror. And then, like that, the cabin in the woods type of thing, you know, teenagers.
Yeah. Yeah, that cemetery scene looked so good. And it's funny, the crew had to wear glow in the dark like bracelet things, or
So they didn't get chopped in
what's
half.
the things that you break?
The glow
The glow sticks. They had to wear glow sticks because the fog was so thick that the crew had to wear
It's
glow
scary
sticks.
anyway,
I
wouldn't
know,
it?
right?
I mean, even when you're filming it, you'd be like, what is that?
See, that's the kind of things that like really get me into like the whole acting side, because I mean, how easy would it be to get into character
Oh
if
my.
your set looked like that? I
Yeah,
would be
right.
legit scared.
Yeah,
like,
you definitely switch it on pretty quick.
oh, for sure.
Because
For
you could
sure.
just let your fear out, you know, and
Yeah.
just go with it.
So, yeah, they find Eugene, and I think, you know, then they get back to the cemetery and everything, and I think it speaks volumes for the newbies to come
Question.
with. Yes.
Oh, no, never mind. I just answered it my own way.
Okay, so what was the question?
My question was going to be,
your
how the
answer?
hell did he get the straw on top of the hatch? And then I remembered
Rosita.
Rosita knew where he was
Yeah.
at.
But
Because she
dog, he's
him
such
right
a
to
good
it.
boy.
The dog?
The dog, yeah,
I
because he's
love the
fine.
dog.
He does like the little errands for Daryl, and he finds Eugene.
runs ahead, makes
like
sure
I know, it's so
everything's okay.
good. Oh, if
Tries to move the
they
herd.
kill dog, we will riot. He is staying alive. He has
Actually,
become part of the
The
group.
Whisperers shouldn't kill the dog because the kind of dog helps him a little bit.
Oh
The
right.
dog will show them where Daryl is.
Oh, for
If they've
sure.
got any sense. They
True.
keep the dog alive.
Oh,
If they
thank-
kill that dog on that show, there'll be
Oh,
hell to pay from
I
the viewers.
know. I thought it was bad enough. Spoiler, obviously.
Especially when I care
they
more
killed
about that
Shiva.
dog than Jesus.
It's true. That's the thing. Okay, so yeah, I think it speaks volumes of the newbies that they came with. That's awesome. I'm really getting to like their characters, but to the whole Jesus thing. From the get-go, I really, really enjoyed his character, from the introduction to him to everything that he does. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. But his death did not have an impact on me
It just-
like I thought
Yeah,
it would.
It just was a bit. Even though the scene was kind of cool as to how they revealed the Whisperers, the death part of it was just pretty flat
It was,
for
yeah.
me. And it was just like, towards the end, even just the stuff that his character was doing just seemed a bit just like blah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well, he
don't
was
know.
definitely showing off.
Yeah, he was showing off,
Mm-hmm.
and
And at least they gave us a little bit of him being the leader to Hilltop and him just like never wanting to
Well,
be
that's
doing
where
anything.
I'm
So he's
going
getting
next.
out from,
Right.
you know.
who do you think then they're putting in charge? Just Tara's going to be in charge?
I would assume so. They'll probably have an election because when he was
Or do you
talking
think
with
after
Aaron,
this fair and half of them are dead, they'll just have to pick someone else anyways?
probably.
Like a red wedding type of situation.
Aww.
Bring it on, Walking Dead. Kill them all. You know they're all wanting to get the hell out of there anyways.
That would be the worst.
Michonne's dying.
That
Betting
would
$50
be
on
the
it.
worst. Oh my gosh.
Massacre.
I could see Aaron being like a new leader too. He is one of the original members, right, of the Hilltop.
He'd be handy.
So he's one of
Yeah.
like, not that I don't really see him necessarily as a leader type, but I could see him being elected in because he has been there longer than anybody else.
For sure. But he's still like in Alexandria. Like he's still
Those
like he has
I
his
think
place
those
there.
groups are going to end up being...
But he could bridge it. He could bridge their feud. You know what I mean?
That's
by
true.
taking over.
That's true.
He
Yeah, I
could.
feel like they'll have an election. To me, I think Tara, but Aaron would be really good. That would be a
Hell,
different.
they're pretty well all there right now, right?
Yeah, for sure. So the whisper that kills Jesus says something about like you don't belong here, which
Is that what he said?
yeah, something about like you don't belong here, and
That's not what I remember hearing, but...
it's interesting because like that's I feel like how the wolves that was their mindset is like everybody's living does not deserve this world anymore. Like we need to turn them into walkers. But I don't know. When Kirkman was on Talking Dead, he explained a little bit about the Whispers on how they're just extremely territorial.
Right.
So maybe it just goes down
It's just
to
their land.
this is their land. Then whatever.
Okay, explain this then. If that was their land, and they commute to these places all the time, aren't they there all the time? Don't you think?
I would think so. Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's
Okay.
not really their land.
So altogether, it's been roughly 8 years since the apocalypse. How quickly do you think these Whispers started doing
But
their
they've not been
whispering
around the past
things?
6 years.
Well, that's what I mean.
So
like,
they've
do you
only
think,
just now come around.
But do you think that they how soon in the apocalypse that they started their whole mask thing?
Oh, way in.
Way in.
I'd say as far as
Yeah.
that group, and they're moving around probably, okay? And they're taking over places
I think
or
it-
whatever.
I think it kind of goes to what Kirkman was saying too, is that officially we've just been in the apocalypse long enough that people are going to start wearing other people's skin.
Yeah, right. They're just
It
now
takes a while
getting
before you
crazy.
snap.
So
Yeah,
these
like
are
try
just
some dumb shit.
survivors
Right.
that just been through some
I'm
shit
gonna
and is
say
losing
that
their
the Whisperers
mind.
at this point in time in the show have been doing this for maybe a year. I would.
Oh,
say.
really?
I would say
Okay.
that's my guess.
Okay. Which makes sense. I mean,
I mean,
You
and
know,
they've only just now come
like-
to this area, apparently.
somebody in their right mind, although they're not in their right mind, this isn't the first thing that people are going to do when
But
the
here's
apocalypse
here's
hits.
what I don't
but-
get with the Whisperers. They're a group.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a way they recruit then. How do they do
Right.
that? Like, there's got to be a way that they're recruiting people into the group. They can't
There-
just be going around killing everyone.
Oh, for sure.
Because they just disappear after
There
a while.
is a scene, and it's not the sneak peek, but it's like the trailer after the episode airs. And there's a girl talking to Daryl saying, like, you're not supposed to be with these guys. Like, you don't belong here.
Well, that's what he said
So
to
maybe,
him.
yeah, but I think she's trying to recruit Daryl.
He's too, like, wriggly. He could never be a Whisperer. You don't belong.
Yeah.
There is
Too
a.
squirmy.
I'll see if I can find it to throw up on the screen, but there is a
Daryl
meme.
would be a perfect Whisperer.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And that was like this. It was a younger girl. I mean, not like younger girl. It was like a younger
Ooh, I
woman.
like that.
You know. And she was
So
like,
she's the
"You don't
recruiter.
belong with these guys. Like you, whatever."
I mean, obviously, they're dudes and women and regular people underneath.
Right.
So they can almost have a superhero type of thing where they're this and then they're this.
Oh yeah.
So they could be, what I'm saying is these Whispers could already be in place in groups. So we already know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they could already be there.
Right.
So maybe...
So they're acting normal on the inside, but on the outside
What
they're
about
whispers.
this? If this fair is
Mm-hmm.
the grand finale of the season, what about if this event that happened with Michonne was because they let some people in, shit went down because of that decision,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and now they're all funny again about letting people in. But because of that, the people that were part of maybe that group
Mm-hmm.
were the Whisperers. And they were just infiltrating the place, trying to get inside. Look, whatever, they get kicked
Mm-hmm.
out. Well, they're actually the Whisperers, and now they plan a bigger plan and come back and attack them all.
I was thinking, what if the Whisperers are the like leftover people from like the Saviors, like the
They're partially, maybe yes. They're just like whatever.
Oh,
They're like
okay,
they're
okay.
like outlaws.
Okay.
But so they're just collecting people. So underneath, they're just regular people.
Right.
But they're rejects. They're people. You know,
Yeah.
they're just bandits or whatever they are. I don't know. But anyway, the group's made up of those types of people. So maybe
can get
some of
on
these
board with
people
that.
already know what's going on, and they're actually
Right.
breaking the groups apart somehow based on whatever this secret event is.
Right, yeah.
This has to be tied into the Whisperers and how they infiltrate the fair and why they're doing it. That's their motive. There has to be maybe some
Totally makes
conflict
sense.
inside
Totally makes
in
sense.
the group. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like spies.
Spies, yeah. Maybe
Undercover
Maggie's
spies.
gone off with who she thinks are these good people, but maybe she's the Whisperers. Maybe the person
that
with the
would be the
twins is the
worst.
Whisperers.
That would be the worst.
With the records.
I would hate that.
She could be the queen of the Whisperers.
Oh,
No,
hate
I
that.
don't think it's Maggie.
I would hate that.
And I
No,
well,
not Maggie.
Oh.
The woman
But
with
Georgie?
the twin.
Oh,
Georgie.
oh.
Yeah. She looks like the type of lady that would wear somebody's
she's
skin.
like super into music. She's like a
Hannibal
chill
Lecter.
chick.
Next. Hit next on your thing.
The masks though for the Whispers
Oh,
look
yeah.
pretty banging.
As you know,
So
my
good.
complaint has been how are they going to
Exactly.
do it? And just by, as we were talking earlier, they just with the lacing in the back, that's enough for me.
Looked so good.
They took care of the skin. They treated it like tanned it. They made
Yeah.
it like just like a costume.
for sure.
Body pieces that lace up in the back.
It looks
Plus, it's
so
clever
good.
because we now, as a viewer, can have
Maybe
something to look out
see-
for because that's their
yeah.
telltale that that's not a zombie.
For
that's a
sure.
whisperer.
Yeah.
So they've given us that, and they've given them that as well. So
Mm-hmm.
it's clever.
It is clever. And what did Kirkman say, Tony? Like about the masks?
What?
Like what did he
they-
say?
That
He's
they were
like,
tanned, like they tanned the.
no, he said like, in the show it's people wearing
Oh, right. Yeah.
like zombie masks. So he was curious on what the art, department would.
he
Did they
thought-
actually
yeah, he
make them
thought
like
it was a-
that, or did they, for effect, just put them in zombie prosthetics, probably?
Probably just.
And
for
then when
perfected
they
that,
needed
yeah.
a stunt mask to have the lace in, they just
That
swapped
makes
it
sense.
out.
That's probably what
Yeah.
they did because Kirkman said the concept of the Whisperers are just people wearing people's skin, but that's what they already do on the show. It's just people wearing
But
masks.
that's why
so how
it's
they
so
were how are they gonna
genius.
do it?
Yeah.
All they've got to do is reveal that it's a mask with a line.
like
down
it's
it.
like Scooby
brilliant.
Doo.
It's really, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's fine with me.
Yeah.
And they've sold me on it just with that.
Yeah.
So
But that whole scene, like, not only like Jesus' like fighting scene, but that whisper ducking
that
and
was,
like
the ducking
looked
bit
so
was
good.
the best part for me. Like out of that whole scene, I mean, yeah, the fog, it was threatening. Yeah, they've done it before, I think.
Right,
I
right.
wasn't too worried about that, and I definitely didn't expect a death then. But then when that
Right.
guy ducked right then, I'm like, oh, he's dead.
And it's like he's
Because-
wearing armor. What
because
good does armor do?
It doesn't matter when you're fighting something that actually now.
Right.
Look, he was showing off. He was loose. It's just zombies.
Right.
All I gotta do is hit him in the head once. Oh, whoopee.
Right.
But then when that motherfucker ducked,
I know. And then the other ones ran
but
out.
everybody was just had you immediately. If that was real, you'd be instantly baffled to the point where you probably freeze for a minute. That's
for
how,
sure.
And then that's how they kill you.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do. That's why he wasn't saved. Like they were like looking on, like what did I just see? Kind
Yeah,
of thing.
for sure.
And it was too late.
Yeah.
Then they
And
just disappear again.
what I like about the Whispers, now that even our group knows, oh, these are just real people, I cannot talk today, guys.
See, that's the thing.
Paper,
Nobody can be trusted again.
but nobody can be trusted.
Right.
And like their whole idea of herds is completely out the door. Like
Right.
everything changes and flips
see,
because
I guess at the beginning
never
of the
know
show,
who's
I
in the
was
herd.
like, they've already shown us all their cards.
Right.
But now we get to see the logic behind it and how they plan
Mm-hmm.
things and how they can kind of outfox them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, on both sides because everybody's on edge now. Everybody's on look. That both sides of these people are like, oh, now they know. Now
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
they know. Like so.
yeah.
It's gonna be fun to maybe see that, but
Yeah.
not knowing who's who anymore.
And that's the thing, like how, like in that herd that was
Even
following
at that
them.
moment, people behind that gate could have still been connected
for
to
sure.
that group
Oh,
just because they weren't dressed up. So it's like,
True. But like my question is, how many actual walkers are in a herd and how many whispers are in a herd?
what if the people that Judith rescued are part of the Whisperers?
Like the new crew.
Right. Hear me out. And I'm connecting them to Georgie as well again, because they both got this
Got
thing
something
for
about
music.
Georgie.
They both got this thing for music.
Oh, right. Okay.
He's obviously learned it from her. Being a music teacher, he agrees with her. So maybe they're all part of the same group, and the only group I can give a crap about right now is the Whisperers. So
I don't know. I think that she's probably part of the
Commonwealth.
Commonwealth is probably what.
I mean, that's what
I
my initial thought is too, but again, trying to connect the dots.
And I
but
don't think the new group, like Magnus and all them, I don't think they're a part of it either.
because we've seen their behind closed doors conversations.
Yeah, that, and then the story did check out. Why would they go through that trouble of, like, I know, like, maybe, like, putting on a show, like, hey, look, our story checked out, wink, wink.
True.
But, I don't know, just, like, seeing them, I'm pretty convinced that they are good people.
I guess
Yeah,
they
and I did a little
killed
too much
some of them,
research.
didn't they? They did kill some of them.
Yeah, and I did a little
Okay.
too much research on Magnus, I think, so that's pretty much why I don't think
Oh,
so.
No,
no.
I'm wrong.
Oh, no.
Well, yeah, but the show takes its
Tony's
own.
got a thing for Magnus.
The show,
Oh, I do, too. I do, too.
The
Watch
show
out,
takes
Magnus.
its own liberties though, so it could definitely change things for sure.
Yeah.
It does, but I feel like they still kind of mirror things and still kind of keep storylines, but give them to different people. So it's like they keep it pretty close. But yeah, these new characters could literally be anyone. But
For sure. So, leaving the episode, like at the end of the episode, they're still in the cemetery, on guard, and there's all the whispering, like, they're here, they're trapped, blah, 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 blah. That scares me. Like,
Yeah.
there wasn't much of a cliffhanger.
how do you know
but our
underneath those masks
groups,
they don't have like night vision and shit like that?
that would be pretty crazy.
I mean, at this point, it could do anything.
This is true.
There's a couple of them out there that got night vision. She's over there.
Do you, okay, so night vision, like goggles.
Yeah,
are
just
they
wear
like
something under the
battery
mask. I
operated
would imagine
or
so. I
something?
don't know how it would work. Solar power, you could rig something up.
That would be cool.
They've got windmills now, Becca. I'm just saying. They've
Right,
obviously got
right.
the upper hand in the fog somehow.
Oh, for sure. And just like the disguise, like they're going to be coming in like a walker. You can't tell
To
until
me,
they're
though,
right up
alright,
with
to me,
you.
if you're trying to hide in the zombies, and I'm a zombie, right?
Yeah. Let's see this.
And you're a whisperer,
Okay.
and even though you're trying to communicate, I walk past you at the right time as you whisper, I'm going to be like, right?
Yeah,
Aren't I going to be like curious?
for sure.
Well, maybe that's why they whisper. You know what I mean? Like,
But they
zombies
do
still hear
whisper.
shit.
But they do whisper in like a zombie voice. Don't let them get away.
They can get away with that for so long. I think.
zombie. Well, that was kind of like my question: is how many in the herd are actual zombies,
Right.
and how
Obviously
many
a lot, because
are?
they killed a lot of them first.
They did. They killed quite a few.
They did. I mean, they don't make their move until they know they're safe. That's the point of it. They hang back. They drive the herd where it needs to go. We saw them kind of leading it.
yeah, because I'm sure if they'd had guns out just shooting them all, they wouldn't have come up through
They
there.
had machetes and
you
shit,
know.
but they hung back, didn't they?
Yeah.
Luckily,
Well, I'm just saying.
there
I'm just
was
saying,
fog.
if Jesus would have had a gun and was just shooting each one of these zombies, then the Whisperers probably would have hung back because they got shot in the face.
But maybe that's why
Right,
one of them
right.
said, "You idiot! You don't belong here. You should have bought a gun." Right?
Yeah.
You dumbass! Put your hair down. It looks stupid up. I mean, I can say anything. It's funny. They should do one of those. We should do one of those YouTube videos where we change what they said.
Oh, like the
We'll
lip
change.
reading.
We'll whisper something else.
I like it. We could whisper anything because it's not like you have
Don't
to make
steal
it
it.
match
We're
the
doing it.
mouth. Like you don't have to match the mouth
That's
or
what's
anything.
funny about it.
We're doing it. So yeah, we already talked about the sneak peek with Negan and the shovel.
The shovel must
And
be
I'm
to dig up
hoping
Lucille. You reckon?
Judith. Well, when he asked Michonne like where Lucille was and if he could have her, she was like, "We just left her outside." So maybe
Yeah,
after
that's not
all
true
of
though.
the
I don't
years.
think. I think she was just doing that to make him mad. Like you left her outside unattended. Like
But
my
okay, so
Lucille.
where do you think they would put her then?
If he's got a shovel, this is how my mind works. He's
They
digging it
buried
up,
her?
so it's buried with someone or somewhere.
yeah, I mean, they might have buried it.
Buried
they
with
might have-
Rick.
Maybe there's a tombstone out there
That
that's
says
got Lucille
Lucille.
on it.
You're so stupid.
But as he goes to dig it up, lightning strikes and the bat just comes up.
Zombie
But it's all
Lucille. Oh,
zombified.
what a twist.
So it goes after Negan and
What a
kills him.
twist, a twist.
Ah!
That's a new spin-off movie that they're
It
going to
is.
do is
Zombie-
Zombie Lucille.
Zombie bats.
So the show is returning February 10th. That means Spoiling Dad is returning February 11th. But overall, it was a good episode. Like overall, I like the style that they're going for. A horror western.
I wish there was a better cliffhanger. I wish that they'd have given me something more to care about. To wait for what's coming
I
next.
wanted to care more about Jesus dying. But as far as a cliffhanger is big enough for me because they're still like at the cemetery with lots of whispering going on. So to me, like that's enough for like at the edge of my seat to be satisfied. But the Jesus thing,
I don't
I was
care
disappointed.
about that. I think someone will show up because now they know that they're out there already. We're out there already. There's going to be more of them coming, right? Ooh, that is right. Maybe you are right about that whole Rosita thing. They're going to show up with guns.
Right.
Right at the right time.
Right.
Mow them down. They'll get out of there, ready for the showdown at the fair a couple weeks later, after they've drug it out.
How big do you think like the group is altogether?
The Whisperers, I think they're massive.
You think so?
I think they are, but then here's the problem with that. They need a place to hide in human form, so where is their camp?
That's true.
What if the Whisperers are... No, never mind. No,
but they are traveling. Like, maybe
travel
they're
around
just
like
traveling
gypsies.
and being
they just
territorial
kinda
of
eat up
like,
stuff
nobody
as they
can
go.
have this land and we're just going to keep traveling. And
That's why I can't help but think that the Whisperers are put there on purpose as part of another group. That's why I feel like whoever Jardis or whoever the other people are, one of these other people are in control of the Whisperers. I think the Whisperers are put there just to do exactly that. Mow through everything and... So whoever can have the land and do something else with it. I don't know. I feel like there's something bigger going on.
You would think. But
Because
probably
that's
not.
reality,
Just
though,
kidding.
isn't it? There's always a big
There's always
power
a bigger
for something or other behind it.
There's always
group.
somebody like have the thumb on the
Right.
scale.
And we are yet to see a group of that scale yet. We are yet to see, and you know that there would be some bigger, massive group that's now in control of probably the world or this part of it. We just haven't seen them yet. I feel like that's happening, and that's what they're going to get to at some point. But
maybe that's one that is that the New World Order.
I think that's the New World Order.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see.
Maybe the New World
This is
Order
the
and
9th
Commonwealth
season.
are kind of like the big two, and they're just trying to like they're picking getting these to take their side and whatnot.
I do feel an end
Divide
though.
and conquer.
Yeah, but I do feel. I know there's movies on the horizon. I get
I
that.
feel an end coming.
But I feel like 10 might be the last one. Because even with Kirkman on the couch, he was talking about how he was excited with what is coming for the next half of the season. And then he even said possibly later, but then he kind of like directed it towards like more of like the movies. Just like the way that he worded it was like, okay, like I think they're wrapping up like the series. Like 10 may be the last one.
I think they have to, and I think that's why they're doing all this. I think that's why they're doing the movies, and they're going to tie everything together because they know they can't push their luck too much more with this show. So what they're going to do is take everything they can and right at the end, and I think they'll tie this and Fear together more directly and bring everything together like they do in the Marvel movies and bring everybody together in the final film and
for a big Infinity War.
it's something like that.
Who's going to get the gauntlet?
And then we'll have all of our questions answered, even though they'll probably still leave us with 10, like, where's Heath?
Where's Heath? Goodness
Could
gracious.
be a whisperer for all we know.
I think Heath is going to be with Rick. I think Jadis took Heath. I think that was the RV that she had.
Oh, yeah.
And I think when we see the movie and we see Rick again, Heath is going to be there.
But you don't know that you don't think that
Hope
Jadis
so.
is connected to the Whisperers?
I don't think so. No.
What if A's and B's are this? B's could be you're a whisperer, and A's you're just the person that's in charge. Or
B could be like your whisperer, and A could be like you're just a walker that's going to protect the whisperers,
You're a
their
pawn.
barrier.
Ooh,
You know,
That's really
sense.
That's really scary. It would be hard to get them to do that voluntarily.
Well, that was why, because
But they're
that was why,
disposable.
like, 'cause with Gabriel, she's like, and this whole time I thought you were a B.
They just
Guess
turn
you're an
him-
A, so I'm gonna turn you
But
into a
maybe
walker.
they just-
Like,
oh, I see what you're saying.
you know what I mean? Yeah.
They bring their own
That
herd
seems a
with
little. Yeah, I mean that seems a little
Ooh.
more.
See, now
Believable.
you got me there.
Yeah.
Sorry, we were gonna wrap this up. Now
What did you think of the episode, Tony?
What I think of the episode?
Yeah.
Um,
Overall.
I mean, I enjoyed it. It wasn't like
yeah.
it wasn't bad. I mean, I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed some of the other episodes here recently. I think it's pretty well known that I could care less about the show. Kind of ready for it to end. Felt like I've been ready for it to end, but the whispers do have me intrigued, so I'll stick around for the conclusion of the Whisper War.
Well, I think the whole intrigue of the Whispers is like completely like spread around because there were several posts from just like random friends on Facebook that was like, I think I might start watching the show again. These whispers sound pretty cool. So that's good.
It's because they've allowed themselves with these characters to do the horror thing again, bring
Yeah.
the creepy stuff back.
Yeah.
Even though I was upset that they've kind of obviously they had to give it away. I've been moaning they haven't given it away for the last two
I know.
shows, but now they just gave it all away. It's like you give it all away, but maybe they haven't. So I'm excited to see how they
Yeah.
keep that going.
Yeah.
And now again, everybody will be on edge and whatnot. But I really do feel that there's a smaller part of a bigger group that's in control.
I think so too. Yeah.
And I like that they bring their own herd.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it makes sense.
They just get dropped off somewhere in a helicopter and maybe build their own herd.
Makes sense.
We're on to something here.
We're on to something. If it's not
AB.
how... Yeah. So we usually have like the same things going on, but like what's going on? I don't think anything
it's
has
pretty much
really
the same
changed.
as last week. There's some other stuff happening, but there's pretty much the same as last
Nothing
week.
that you can talk about.
Yeah, right. Nothing I can talk about, but everything else is the same.
Yeah. By the time we come back in February, we're gonna have like a crap ton of new
I
things
should
to
have
share,
a load
you guys.
of stuff next time we come back.
Oh, for sure.
Hopefully, I'll
That's
have
how
some,
many months?
some stuff.
December,
3.
January,
February.
three,
Yeah,
3 months.
3 months. It's
A
possible.
lot can happen in 3 months.
Yeah, that's for damn sure.
What do you have going on, Tony?
Same
Tony
thing I had
Tone
going on
Tone.
last week. Hilarious. Whole lot of nothing. We got some rad stuff on the horizon, things that we're working on. Hopefully, this show being over for the next few months we're gonna have to be more consistent on some other shows. So I'm gonna try and maybe get out, see some movies, do some reviews soon, maybe do some rad short films. Maybe have a Christmas one coming up. It could be cool. So there's that. What do you got going on, Rebekah?
Same thing that you do, Tony. Yeah, just trying to be creative and stay busy, and
That gets harder during the winter, doesn't it?
it does. I mean, like you're kind of trapped in the house, so it's like I've
Yeah,
been
but
on
it's
a
because
kick
you're
of
trapped
writing.
in the house. It's
yeah,
like Negan. You just what do you do?
yeah. I'm gonna have to get
Bounce my tennis ball
I was just gonna
around.
say I'm gonna have to get a tennis ball and a glove.
Yeah.
But that is all we have for you today. As always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe, comment, do all of those things. We will be back in the new studio, February 11th, Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
You have to remind me about that. Actually, I'll know because I'll watch a show, won't I?
Yes, I would hope that you would know. So you will see us not for this show, but maybe for other shows. But thanks for coming to this show.
Bye.
Bye.